Okay.
Hi, my name is Nikki Dalladay, and at the age of 21 I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. At the time I didn't really take this on board and what it meant, and I was only just starting my relationship with my then partner and now husband. I was diagnosed, as I said, when I was 21. Our life carried on as normal. We carried on pursuing our hobbies. We both were keen amateur dramatics people. We loved appearing on stage. We loved singing, dancing, acting, playing hockey, all sport of any kind, just enjoying life, just having a great life. David married me and took me on knowing what could possibly happen. I had my eyes firmly covered with rose-coloured glasses and believed that nothing was ever going to happen to me because I thought I was going to be one of the lucky ones. I was wrong. He married me, he took me on, and life continued for some years. We carried on pursuing our hobbies and our interests and travel. We both adored travelling so much. Then later on, at about the age of 35, I had a hockey injury. I broke my anterior cruciate and had to have a reconstruction of the knee operation. After having had a general anaesthetic, I found I couldn't walk very well, and this necessitated my need to get a walking stick. So I went on my journey. I went by myself and bought a walking stick. I was so afraid of what was happening to my body, and I would almost say I was embarrassed that I would have to, at the age of 35, go and buy a walking stick. It's not something I related to, a 35-year-old with a walking stick. That was more for older people, not younger people. And I had the walking stick and I looked like a drunk walking up the road with it because my gait was becoming a little dubious. I was wobbling. It became apparent that I would need to move on from a walking stick as it got older. So the hospital produced a pair of crutches. So I walked with crutches, and meanwhile it was just my lower half that was really affected. It wasn't my upper at all. I transferred to crutches, used that, and then I moved on to the delights of the really old people, and I had a Zimmer frame. This was all becoming frightening, uncharted, unfamiliar territory that I and David were about to enter into. The hospital saw me. They said I was an accident waiting to happen, so this now meant I would have to go into a wheelchair. And in my early 40s I went into a wheelchair, and it's my understanding, or I felt, that once I had gone down this route into a wheelchair, I was never going to go back to how I was with walking with a walking stick. So emotionally and mentally, this was a phenomenally difficult time for me to get to grips and come to terms with what was happening to my body, which was so out of my control. I couldn't embrace being disabled in any way. It wasn't something that I had ever factored in at all. I've always been an independent woman and did everything for myself and shared my life with my husband. We lived as a couple. But for some reason, my body was saying otherwise. It was going to strip any form of independence away from me. It had decided how I was going to live my life, and that means now living my life permanently in a wheelchair. David having to do everything for me, whether that's of a personal, it's all of a personal nature. You know, he's the one that sits me on the toilet, wipes my arse, deals with my period, blah blah blah. We live our life as carer stroke carrier. The man and wife element, part of our relationship, and I'm talking about the physical, intimate side of it, it's called. It's had to. There's no way that we can continue doing what we did before. Yes, my head still works, my heart still works, but my body is pretty useless. I can't write anymore. I have to drink through a straw. David cuts up my food for me, and there are times where I can't even raise the fork to my mouth, and he has to actually put it there for me. This to me is not life. It's not the way I had my life mapped out. Yes, I'm prepared to put up with a little inconvenience. Yes, I've become accustomed to the changes that have happened, because each time a part of my body stops functioning, I liken it to a grieving process. I have to grieve over that part of me that no longer works anymore. So it's a form of bereavement as far as I'm concerned. So I have to go through a process, dig down within myself, and try and pull myself out of it. But the question is, how long can I continue doing this for? At the moment it's fine. We're still a relatively young couple. But my mind wanders to when we're older. Now, I've been told that I shouldn't dwell on the future too much. None of us should really. We should live each day as it comes. And I try and do that. But there are obviously restrictions about, what I can physically do during the course of the day. And to be honest, life just gets boring. You can't do anything. When you haven't got unlike you and David, you can get up and walk out the room anytime you want. I can't. I just have to sit here until somebody wheels me out of the room. I have no choice. I have a very strong passion that I believe I should be entitled to live a dignified life as well as a dignified death. But nobody hears me. Nobody will hear me. And that upsets me greatly. And it's now the time I start to get emotional about it, not because I don't feel sorry for myself in any way, shape or form. I want what nobody will give me. Yes, I would love to be able to walk, but that's not going to happen. Yes, I would love to revert back to life as it used to be, but that's not going to happen. Is a dignified death an option at the moment? In this country, my birth country, an option? No, it's not. It's perfectly right to ship me across to the chocolate box heaven of the universe to go and commit suicide. But I can't do that. I can't travel anymore. I'm being denied everything. And all I want to do is live my life and die when I choose, and it's my choice. I'm not asking anyone else to make that choice for me. A number of people are very anti me talking this way a couple of years ago. But I would say it's because they don't live with this condition, or a condition like this. We know of so many people that have a condition, and as I've said, it's not until you live with it you truly know what it's like. It's all very well to witness something, but until you step inside of my body or anybody else's body, you don't know what they have to live with. And it's not a great way to live. I don't want to die at the moment, that's a given. But at some point in the future, I will. And that's when I want the choice available to me.
So I've been in a wheelchair since I was 14. I've lost every single control over every single muscle and every joint in my body. I cannot talk proper. I cannot think proper. I can't even see proper. And no one else should have the right to decide whether I should live or die, except me. Because I'm the only one in my history. No one else can even remotely assume what it's like. No able-bodied person knows. The doctors tell you all the time they understand what it's like. I never managed to understand how they could figure out what it's like unless you're in the skin of the person you're talking.
I've concluded that love is monumentally selfish. My husband and I came to this together. That somebody would rather keep you alive, no matter what your quality of life, because they want you kept alive. They want to see you. All you end up being is a physical being.